Welcome to another episode of STO Nation, a production of Park Media. Before I introduce today's guest, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share, and leave a 5-star review. And if you find this podcast useful in any way and want to pay us the ultimate compliment, head on over to our Patreon page where you can subscribe to be a Classic, Stealth, or Beast Mode subscriber. Welcome to another episode of STO Nation. If you're watching the YouTube version, you'll notice that this episode was recorded at Storytellers HQ during my visit there in July. And the cool thing is that it just so happened that 2 storytellers were being picked up in Birmingham the same time I was there, so I was able to sit down and chat with the brand new owners about their entire experience up to delivery. We talked about why they chose a storyteller, insurance, their concerns, how their walkthrough went, and so much more. So if you're waiting to pick up your storyteller, this episode will answer some of your questions and help you better prepare for your delivery. So sit back, relax, and welcome Tim Perry and Pete and Kim Lercara to the STO Nation family. All right. So thank you so much for coming on STO Nation. And this is really unique in the fact that you just picked up your van yesterday, and you guys picked yours up today, like literally, 20 minutes ago. Got the walkthrough here at Storyteller HQ, which is basically unheard of, and I can't wait to dive into the story in regards to like how that happened. But let's just go ahead and start off with like who you are, where you're from, the dealership that you went through, and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and start with you.
I'm Kim Lercara from Omaha, Nebraska. And I'm here with my husband, and he took care of all the details. I couldn't tell you where we bought our van from.
All right, fair enough.
We bought it from Storyteller.
Well.
I'm Pete Lercara, and I'm also from Omaha, Nebraska. I live with Kim. And
We're married.
We bought the van from Van City in St. Louis. And we picked it up here because there was an issue with trucking. And one of our options was to come here. And we didn't want to wait, so here we are.
Awesome.
Hey, and I'm Tim Perry from Orlando, Florida. I flew in yesterday and bought the van from Mercedes-Benz of Birmingham.
Sweet. So there's a couple things that I would like to cover. One of them is like the experience of obviously picking up. Because you guys dealt with different dealerships, but also like why you guys decided on a storyteller. And you guys got a classic and you got the beast, right, Tim?
I did.
Yeah. What number is your beast?
66.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and dive in, and you guys can explain like why you guys chose storyteller.
Well, we started out, I was planning to retire, and I wanted an RV, but I couldn't really imagine myself driving a big like Class A or even a Class C. I thought about towing a car around and just the hassle of driving, and that just didn't appeal to me. And one day I was standing on my deck and I saw a Revel parked in my neighborhood. And I pointed to it and I told my wife, I said, "There's our answer." And she said, "That's not an RV." And I said, "Yes, it is." And so we went, and she found the guy, and he spent like 2 hours with us.
Wow.
And he and his girlfriend had been living in it for like 2.5 years. And he loved the van. He went on and on and on and told me all about it. And he told me to not buy a Winnebago. He told me to buy a Storyteller.
Oh, really? Why is that?
He said, if you're looking for better build quality, buy a Storyteller. So we live in Omaha, Nebraska, which isn't very far from Forest City, where they make the Revels. So we, the next weekend, took a trip to Forest City and went to look at the Revels. And we had looked at Bolts and ERAs and several other Class B vans. And I was torn on the Storyteller. At that point, it cost quite a bit more. I was having a hard time selling Kim on no bathroom. That was sort of a big deal. And we went there and we made the appointment, and it was cold. It was late October, and it's way up north, and it was cold. And we walk into the place, and the first thing the sales lady says is, "Winnebago just took a price increase, and the price that I told you is now gone up." And it basically at that point took the difference between a Storyteller and the Rebel was $5,000.
Oh, wow.
And there was things that I loved about the Storyteller, the power system, the openness. So that at that point, all I had to do is convince Kim that we really didn't need a bathroom.
Well, and the bathroom in the Rebel is very small.
It is.
I mean, I couldn't imagine myself in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the Storyteller was the answer.
That's awesome. What about you, Tim?
So my buddy Dave Sanborn had a Class C RV, and I had the opportunity to drive back with him from Colorado a couple years ago, and I really didn't care for it at all. And then a couple months later, he got a Rebel, and then I was checking that out. I was like, whoa, like what is this? This is like super cool. And he was going to do some modifications to it, and so I was like, all right, now we're cooking with gas. And so he mentioned Storyteller to me, and he was like, the quality is just, fantastic, what have you. So I started looking into it and looking at the models and what have you, and just knowing that I would probably want to, modify the van itself, suspension, what have you, tires, wheels, all that good stuff. So it was just, to me, it made sense just to go all in and just get the Beast. So
Nice. Is there a reason why you guys didn't go with the Beast or the Stealth?
I picked the van.
Uh-huh.
Kim picked the color.
Okay.
So the first piece was she wanted the pebble gray, so that killed the Stealth.
Gotcha.
I probably on my own would have bought a Stealth.
Okay.
As far as the Beast goes, I want to modify it, but I kind of want to do it my own way.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd start from scratch with the base model and make it my own from there.
Okay. And how are you going to make it your own? What kind of plans you got going on over there?
I have lots of plans, but we don't.
I don't know if you know about this. We'll see.
She does.
Okay.
We're not campers.
Okay.
So the first thing we have to do is figure out the basics. And I've watched the Facebook group, and I'd heard about the millions of things I should change, and I want to experience those things myself. I want to see how bad the suspension really is, how bad the stereo really is, and some of those things, and then I'll make decisions from there.
Okay. I mean, that's actually a really good way to approach it. Just actually see what you need. If you need to make the adjustment, then go ahead and make the adjustment instead of doing like a lot of people like myself, just dive right in and get everything. And then, yeah, I would, if I did it all over again, I'd probably take your approach. Yeah, that's good. So you guys, let's talk about your actual experience with the dealership. Good or bad, it's totally up to you, like what you guys tell me. I think most people know about this podcast is I'm an independent person, and so in regards to like being able to voice your opinion if you had a bad experience or if you want to tell other people some advice, that would help as well, because I know a lot of people have questions about insurance, about extended warranties, gap insurance, things of that nature. So, I mean, really, whatever you guys want to say and not say is totally up to you, but let's go ahead and dive into that subject. So,
all right, I'll go first. So I actually, first time I saw a Beast was in January. There was an RV Expo in Tampa, Florida. So I saw that. I was like, okay, this is what I want to get. And there was an RV dealer there, and they were like, $5,000 non-refundable deposit.
Oh, non-refundable.
Yeah,
okay.
and I was pretty certain I was going to get one, but to me it just seemed a little strong, like right out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, Lauren, goes to school here at Sanford in Birmingham, and they're built. I decided to call Mercedes-Benz of Birmingham just because we come up here on a regular basis, so it just kind of felt like somewhat home.
Mm-hmm.
And got Michael Smith on the phone, called, and he answered the phone. Very accommodating. And he was just like, this is the process, this is the price, $2,500 refundable deposit on your credit card. And it was very easy, very simple. And so when I first got it, he told me like I would take delivery in August. Mm-hmm. He called me a couple months later and said someone who's going to take a June delivery wants to push it back to August. So would you like to bump up your delivery to June? And I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it was great for him to call me and offer that opportunity to me. And so I bought it yesterday at the dealership. It is kind of overwhelming. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much, kind of going on. But I would say as far as the acquisition of the vehicle, it was almost easier for me than buying a car. I was just, here's like 4 or 5 forms. I mean, it was probably like 10 forms. Mm-hmm. Sign here and gave him a check, and I was out the door. So.
Now, were there any issues when you did the walkthrough and whatnot?
I didn't notice any. I didn't have it. To me, I'm kind of into the details, but mm-hmm. I was just so excited to get it. I was just like, just let me take it. Let me mm-hmm. experience it. Let me just kind of, just experience it. And if there are issues, then we'll deal with it later. I mean, someone was going to take delivery today. They had like some outstanding warranty issues, so they couldn't take delivery.
Yeah, recall issues.
Yeah. So I looked on mine. I had I think one. And I was at the point where I didn't care. I was like, just give me the van and I'll deal with it later.
Right.
And that was never an issue. And I brought it up at the dealership and they said there was no outstanding warranties for the van. So
that's good.
Yeah. So I was happy to just take it and just experience it. So, but the experience at the dealership was fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you use a checklist that was made by one of the community members?
I printed it out and kind of went through it several times before I got to the dealership, okay. And I felt like I knew what to ask and okay. kind of what to look for. But I will admit I wasn't like, just like methodically
numbers, yeah.
going through the list. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. What about Pete and Kim?
Well, we bought our van from Van City mm-hmm. in St. Louis. We looked at, and I don't remember the name of the dealer in Albuquerque. I talked to them, and I basically made the decision based on the location from our house, mm-hmm. thinking St. Louis was the closest to Omaha, so I went with them. And at that point, I hadn't spent a lot of time really researching. I hadn't really looked at the Facebook posts to know that I could have called around and maybe got my van sooner mm-hmm. if I would have picked the right dealer. I didn't know that. Yeah. So, and when we ordered it, I ordered it at the beginning of November, and they told me April, May. And then when the pandemic came, it became May for sure. Yeah. And you're wondering, but you picked up your van in July, and right. and there was a little issue. May came along. It was towards the end of May, and they called me up and they said, we have good news and bad news. We have your van in St. Louis, but it's white, not pebble gray. Mm. And when we picked out the van, the only thing Kim got to vote on was the color. And I thought, no, you guys don't get this. I have to have pebble gray.
Bathroom is one thing. Color is totally different.
I asked them if they could paint it.
Oh.
And they said, we'll get back to you in a few days.
So, and they said, we basically allocate the vans when the deposit is put on. So we don't have another van. Mm. You basically have to get to the end of the line.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, oh, that's not going to work. And I was prepared to try to sell the white idea if I had to.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to push for the pebble gray. And we got lucky. Somebody's financing didn't work out. And so we got their van.
Nice. So, but in regards to the actual experience with Van City, would you recommend them to someone else?
To be honest, I really can't recommend them or not recommend them. My experience with them was really pretty limited. Mm. I called them up. I had to put down a $10,000 deposit, which talking here today was steep. It was refundable until the van got started to be produced. So once the VIN number came out, then it wasn't refundable.
Did they give you a heads up that it was going to come out at all, or?
And I was on top of it. In fact, I asked them, where's the VIN number? And they gave it to me. And that was when I Googled the VIN number and found out, I said, this is a white van.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, I mean, Storyteller, true to what everybody says on the website, came through and made it right.
That's good.
We had to wait a few weeks longer, but that all worked out.
Good. So what about the actual walkthrough that you got with Tanner, a.k.a. Hot Sauce, I've been told?
Well, it was awesome. I mean, we got a walkthrough at the home office.
Yeah.
He teaches the dealers how to do the walkthrough. So he did an outstanding job. I, too, looked at the checklist. And I read through all of the manuals on the plane today. So I was pretty familiar with the operation, and I had read them before.
Right.
So I knew what I needed to know, and he was really just confirming.
That's good.
And he did an awesome job. He spent all the time with me that I needed and went back through things. And Kim is the inspector. So if there was anything wrong, she would have pointed it out.
Well, they went over and above today. They have our toilet ready for us.
Oh, nice. Or actually, a lot of people don't know is that I rode with Tanner to come pick you guys up at the airport. So were you guys like surprised to see me in the front seat?
We were.
Okay. So I was just like, oh, I want to go meet these people, and I don't want to wait until they come here.
Yeah,
so.
and I told you I felt like we already knew you from all of your podcasts.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So crazy that you're here. We're all here
I
at
know.
Storyteller HQ. Yeah, because I've never heard of anyone, I don't know if you have, but I haven't, for anyone to be able to pick up at HQ. It's usually at the Birmingham Mercedes dealership. So that's
This is
and you
cool.
had a Storyteller employee give you the walkthrough.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I will say, I probably wouldn't call Storyteller to ask them to have the same, because they usually don't do that. So there's a disclaimer. So
There you go.
but anyways, yeah. So you're extremely happy with your delivery. So my next question is, what are you guys really? I don't want to say scared, but what is your concern now that you have the van in your possession, and now it's time to move forward on your own? Because if you think about it, right, you spent probably hours, if not, some people spent years researching, trying to find that perfect fit for them. And then it's like this whole build up, and then you actually get it, and now you're in the driver's seat, and it's like, whoa, now what, right? And so what is moving here on out, like, what is your major concern, if any?
I have a major concern.
You do?
If it breaks,
Okay.
I see people having to get towed out of the wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that, are you referring to Stacy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's kind of cursed in a little bit, but yeah, no, I totally
I mean, they
understand.
are going to break. And Storyteller told us, it's not if, it's when. But we are here to support you.
And then how does that make you feel?
Better. But they're not going to help me get towed.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my concern.
Okay.
Being somewhere out in nowhere land and the van doesn't turn on, or
Yeah.
if something breaks.
Right. No, that's totally valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Pete?
I'm not as concerned about that. I'm more concerned with figuring out how to make this fun and not stressful.
Gotcha.
And that was one of the reasons I chose the van we did, is because it would be easy to drive. I didn't have to tow a vehicle. I mean, our dream was to retire and travel. We're going to Europe, hopefully at the end of September. We're going to Hawaii in January. And in between, we're going to be in the van. And the thing that I loved about the van idea is I didn't have to plan. That I could kind of just go at my own pace, go wherever I want to, and if I get somewhere and I find out I don't like it, I can leave.
Yep, exactly. That's awesome. And Tim, what about you?
I'm really not too concerned about not that much. I mean, I figure that the chassis itself, Mercedes-Benz, pretty reliable. Storyteller, I mean, they stand behind, what they're putting into the van. So, I mean, is it going to be perfect? Is everything going to work 100%, 100% of the time? Maybe not, but I'm not too worried about it. I think my biggest concern really is probably my wife. Assuming that, hoping she will like it. I'm sure she will, but that's probably my biggest concern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your wife's concern the bathroom as well, or what are her concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't we didn't really go it was hard to she hasn't seen it, so I haven't really explained exactly all the details. But I mean, she has a lot of faith in me, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're probably a couple days in the camper and one night in a hotel kind of a thing, or vice versa. So. So I'm looking forward to enjoying it.
That's good. So, Pete, I got to ask you, how did you convince Kim with the bathroom situation? And the reason why I ask is because a lot of people choose the Revel because it does have the standard hard, four-walled bathroom. So what was the sales pitch to get her to agree to it?
Well, there's a few things. I said that we're not campers, but we do camp usually 1 week a year. We ride our bicycles across Iowa, and we have an old 1950s school bus that's converted, and it has no bathroom. The shower is a hose that comes off the side of the bus and with the shower tent. So she's kind of used to roughing it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And when we looked at the Revel, you got in that bathroom, and it was claustrophobic, and we actually bought our van. I ordered it sight unseen. I'd never seen one.
Oh wow! Just
on the website, and at that point we found out about the Facebook, and we found a couple 60 miles away that had just picked up a Stealth, and they invited us over to come and see their van. And we got to see a Storyteller, and that sort of sealed the deal for us. We got in the shower and did the whole thing, and that kind of settled Kim down. But she was used to kind of roughing it. And once we kind of weighed out the pros and cons, it was pretty easy.
That's good. So you feel 100% comfortable now?
I'll let you know.
Okay, fair enough. We'll have to do a follow-up, right?
Yeah.
So did you guys choose to get the extended warranty, the gap insurance? If you don't mind me asking, who did you finally figure out to insure the mode? And let's go down that road for a second.
I use Geico for my cars, and I called them up, and I checked a couple other places, and Geico's rate in Nebraska was very good. Mm-hmm. So I went with them and just added it to my auto policy.
Okay.
As far as any other insurance, I'm thinking about getting the extended warranty, the one that goes to 100,000 miles. Mm-hmm. It's not too expensive, and I normally almost never ever buy extended warranties, so I'm sort of torn right now. Mm. But I have some time to make that decision.
Two questions from that. What company are you looking at, or companies? And then two, why would you not want to? Or you said that you never have done it.
I never buy extended warranties on anything. It just kind of a racket in my mind.
Okay.
And I would buy it from Mercedes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I would buy and mainly because we're going to drive this van a lot of miles, I hope. Mm-hmm. and having that extended warranty takes it from 50,000, I think, to 100,000. So I thought the additional warranty might make sense.
Gotcha. Is there a time frame where you have to figure out if you're going to do it, like a cutoff date?
I think so, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, fair enough.
So what I was told at Mercedes-Benz of Birmingham, so they didn't offer me anything,
Really?
Which was fine.
Okay.
I probably would have refused those things, but and maybe that's why it was so quick and seamless. But I probably wouldn't have gotten an extended warranty. But they told me I had up to 3 years. Within the first 3 years, if I wanted to extend. So this is like extended warranty, I'm assuming, for the chassis itself, the drive chain, what have you. But
Right.
the way it was explained to me, I had up to 3 years to decide if I wanted to extend the warranty. So they were like, just let us know if you want to add it on. So,
Okay.
like, all right.
What about the actual RV portion of it? They didn't offer anything?
No.
Nothing, huh?
No.
That's weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out, but I probably would have. I probably would have passed on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But with regards to my insurance, I went with Progressive. So I have a boat, so I have Progressive for a boat. But I have homeowners and all my other car policies with another company. But
Okay.
I just went with Progressive. It just seemed pretty simple.
Okay, so you guys didn't have any issues through your insurance companies about like giving the VIN and then it just popping up as a chassis instead of an actual RV? Because
No.
I don't know if
No.
you've ever read that in the Facebook forum, but some people, they like when I talked to May at the Hood River Van Expo, she was telling me that when she initially went to go insurance shopping, she gave, I can't remember the company's name, but she gave them the VIN and it just popped up as a regular Mercedes. And so the RV portion wouldn't be actually insured. So she finally found a company that had the proper insurance. But you guys didn't go through that?
So, I mean, so when I gave Progressive my VIN number, they pulled it up as a Storyteller
Okay.
right out
Yeah.
of the box. So
I
it's
had the
like
same
a
experience.
non-issue, yeah.
Okay, that's good. I think with the bigger, it seems like the bigger insurance companies have it in their system that it's an actual RV, and then like the smaller local ones, I guess, for lack of a better term, I think maybe that's where people struggle a little bit is in regards to insuring it. Because I have State Farm and I had no issues, so it's just kind of interesting. So I was curious about that. So to switch gears a little bit, now that you have your storytellers in hand and you went through the process, what tips and advice do you have for those that are in the starting position of trying to figure out if they want a storyteller or revel or like whatever they're looking for? Like, what advice do you have that you've learned in this entire process that you can pass on?
I would say look at the Facebook groups. Because I didn't do that until after the fact, and I learned a lot. In fact, I didn't even have Facebook. She has Facebook, but I didn't. And I joined just because I didn't want to be asking questions about tires and be her.
Fair enough.
So now I have all these people wanting to be my friend, and I know I really don't want to do this.
That's funny.
But I joined both the Revel and the Storyteller, and I even joined a Sprinter group just for conversion vans, just to kind of get the lay of the land and learn. You can learn quite a bit. You have to filter through some of the stuff, but that would be my advice.
Okay, that's good advice.
My advice would be you only live once.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, life is short, life is precious, and, enjoy life. So I think if you dwell on a lot of the stuff that's online, with Winnebago and what have you, it almost like it could very easily talk you out of
That's true.
Getting one. So it's a good resource, and you read those things, and you're like, oh, what am I getting myself into? But I think the potential benefits far outweigh the, whatever potential mechanical issues you may have down the road. But I'd say just live life, make it happen.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So Pete had mentioned how they're going to use their Storyteller. How are you going to use your beast? What plans do you have?
So next month I'm going to Leadville, Colorado. I'm doing the Leadville 100 mountain bike race with my son and my buddy Dave. And I want to travel. I want to travel as much as I can, go out west and, see this great country. Hopefully, I don't see myself staying in it more than like a week or two, but, hopefully long trips with my wife, Sarah. And just kind of, I don't know, just figure it out as we go.
Okay.
I feel like I feel like my wife and I are about to embark on just like a great adventure. And I have no idea what lies ahead of us. We're just going to unfold it and see what happens.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're kind of in the same boat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We are going to load up our bicycles and head for the rail trails and head for the national parks and just take it as it comes.
That's awesome.
And hope for good weather.
I know, right? Well, you just got to kind of chase the sun or avoid the sun, one of the two, right? It's basically how it goes.
The storms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hurricane season's popping up here
Yeah.
shortly, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to be driving back into a hurricane.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's I'm trying not to pay too much attention to it, but I
feel like
probably
maybe you should.
Right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's gonna maybe hit land around like Tampa, maybe tonight or something.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Kind of go across the state through Jacksonville or something like that. I don't know. So.
Are you going to stay here another night before you roll out, or?
Possibly, probably.
Okay.
So I don't, gonna just kind of wing it. But yeah, I plan on driving through some rain and wind for sure.
Wow, talk
tomorrow.
about adventure right off the bat.
Yeah, right.
Well, you have the beast, so if you're going to drive across some, a hurricane, then I feel like the
exactly.
beast is probably the best
Yeah.
way to do it. So
See what that suspension's all about. See if it's going to be swaying or what have you.
yeah, exactly.
And you can just pull over if it gets
Yeah,
too bad, right?
exactly. That's
You
exactly
have everything
right.
you need. Just get some food.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I know that today and for you, the last 48 hours has just been like this whirlwind of excitement and emotions and, all this stuff. But, I like to close out every podcast with one question. I think you guys probably know what it is. But what does it mean for you guys to be part of the STO Nation community?
All right, so I'll go first. I just feel very blessed to be in a position that I could buy something like this, and it's we mentioned earlier that I've been, online. It's like I've been taking information, and it'd be nice to kind of give back to this community and kind of participate and be part of it. It seems like there's fantastic people, so I'm just excited about what lies ahead of me.
That's great.
Yeah, and the community piece was the surprise part. I didn't know anything about that, and I'm very excited to become part of that. It seems just like a great group of people that all have similar likes but are also very different. And it will be fun interacting with that group.
Mm-hmm.
Ditto.
Woman of many words. Well, it's been a delight to be able to talk to you. And again, I appreciate your time because I know you guys probably just want to hit the road and have fun. So I'm not going to hold you guys up any further. But I wish you the best of luck. And I'm so happy to be able to share the road with you guys now.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank
Been
you.
great.
STO Nation is a production of Park Media. The executive producer is Younghwa Kim. The audio engineer is
Stephen Grasso.
The marketing director is
Guillaume, Golsong.
The original music and artists is done by
Jason Walsmith.
The sound designer is
Lorenzo, Interiano.
and the webmaster is
Peng.
Without any of these people, this podcast couldn't happen, so a big, huge thank you. And a big, huge thank you to you, the listener. If you like this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a 5-star review. This is Younghwa with STO Nation, and I can't wait to share the road with you.